Hello everybody, welcome to online class. In last class we were discussing regarding the initiatives and the responsibilities taken by the two authorities, that is government agencies as well as the Indian government of India. So in the last class we were discussing regarding the schemes which are introduced by the government agencies for the development of the women entrepreneurship. We have discussed regarding the district level industrial centers, then the state financial corporations, technical consultancy organization, state industrial development corporation, small industrial service institute, center for entrepreneurship development of Karnataka, industrial development bank of India, national small industries corporation limited, industrial finance corporation of India, khadi and village industries commission, the industrial credit and investment corporation of India, National Alliance of Young Entrepreneurs, Small Industries Development Organization, commercial banks, National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, and Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. Actually, there are 24 schemes which are introduced by the government agencies, but in the last class we have discussed only 16 schemes. So the remaining points or the remaining schemes we will discuss today. So let's start with the today's schemes which are introduced by the government agencies. First one is Small Industrial Development Bank of India, which is also known as SIDBI. So this SIDBI has set up these institutions in the year 1990. It is the apex institution at central government level. Okay. Keeping Lucknow as its head office, it has opened branches in all states. As an apex financial institution, it has framed special schemes for small scale industrial sectors. Then what are those schemes? We'll understand one by one. It has introduced schemes for village and tiny industries, modernization and expansion of small scale industries. SC/ST, physically handicapped and medical professionals will also get the special schemes for opening the or introducing the small scale industries. Okay. Then it also gives the schemes for the farmers so that they can purchase or buy the seeds. Then discounting and rediscounting of bills. Then venture finance to technocrats. Then term finance to small scale industrial sectors. Okay, the next scheme is Entrepreneurial Guidance Bureau. The Indian Investment Center has started an information center which is known as what? Entrepreneurial Guidance Bureau. The main purpose of this center is what? To provide a guidance on various projects and counseling on the profitable sectors. Okay, so that the industrial sectors can take decisions that where to invest so that they can get the profits on their investments. Okay, next is Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. This scheme is undertaken to provide what? Employment to the unemployed youths. So the self-employment is the solution for the unemployment is the slogan of the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. So we'll understand what are the restrictions to get the advantages of these schemes. See, the age limit should be 18 to 35 years. As this scheme is introduced for the unemployed youths, the youth's age limit should be 18 to 35 years. Then the educational qualification should be SSLC or ITI or any technical course of 36 months duration recognized by what? The government. Then the residential status. The beneficiary or the person who wants to take the benefits of these schemes, he should be resident of that locality for at least 3 years. Then the family income. See, the total income of the family should not exceed rupees 24,000 per annum. Per annum means the income for year, per year. Okay. Then family includes the beneficiaries like husband, wife, mother or father. Okay. If the husband is the beneficiary, then the wife will get the benefit. Okay. Then family income includes what? The salary, pension, income from agriculture and income from the business. Then indebtedness, that is beneficiary should not be a defaulter of a debt that he has taken from any bank or financial institution. That is, he should not already taken any loan from the bank, and if he had not repaid it, then he will be considered as a debtor. Okay, defaulter of a debt. Okay, so he should not already taken a loan, or if he has not repaid it back, then he will not, or he cannot enjoy the benefits of the scheme. Then a reservation, 22.5% of the scheme is reserved for SC/STs and 27% for backward communities. Then nature of business, entrepreneur can start any industry or trade or service. Okay, however, more than 30% of the industries should not be trade units. Okay, next is financial assistance. Each entrepreneur is given maximum financial assistance of rupees 1 lakh. Financial assistance is given by commercial banks. Bank loan does not require any guarantee. Interest on loan is charged as per the rates fixed by the RBI. Repayment of loan is spread between 3 to 7 years. Repayment of loan installment can start between 6 to 18 months after sanctioning of loan. Then training. Entrepreneur is given training of 20 days. The expenditure on training is bared by the government. Government is spending rupees 1000 for training of entrepreneur who starts an industrial enterprise, and rupees 500 for an entrepreneur who promotes a service industry. Okay, next, implementation. See, the state government has formed a district task force to monitor what the implementation, performance and progress of the Pradhan Mantri Rozgar Yojana. Okay, next is National Productivity Council. The quality and quantity has been neglected in small scale industry for a long period of time. So, in order to overcome from these problems, the government has introduced the National Productivity Council. So, the National Productivity Council introduces the certain consultation services, which includes selection and training of young prospective entrepreneurs, then providing information about investment opportunities, and consultation continues even after commencement of the project. It also advises on expansion and financial adjustments. Next is National Industrial Development Corporation Limited. It was set up as a private company in 1954. The government introduces various schemes for growth and development of small scale industries. It performs promotional financial assistance. The concentration will be on a manufacturing sector. It gives direct finance by purchasing shares and debentures and underwriting of the issue. The loan and advances are also provided. Next is National Institute of Small Industries Extension Training. The institute has been established in the year 1956 as a training center. The various training schemes have been launched to support what? Entrepreneurs. The next is Central Institute of Tool Design. The Tool Design Training Center has been established in the year 1969. The main areas include consultation on tool designing, improving the standard tools, and providing tool room facilities. Like this, the Indian government, after recognizing the role of entrepreneurs in the economic development, has established a number of specialized institutions. But it is the duty and responsibility of entrepreneurs to make use of the supporting institutions. The beneficiaries should spread the messages to other budding promoters. Okay, the last one is Life Insurance Corporation. The Life Insurance Corporation of India came into existence in October 1956 under the LIC Act 1956. It came up wholly owned corporation of Government of India. LIC is an investment institution which offers a variety of insurance policies to extend social security to various segments of the society. Okay, so this LIC includes LIC finances private industry indirectly by way of subscriptions to shares and bonds of special financing institutions such as IDBI, SFCs and IFCI. Then LIC accords priority to those industries which are engaged in production and generation of electricity, housing schemes, then water supply, transport development while sanctioning loans. So since 1971, LIC started stipulating a clause for conversion of a portion of the loans sanctioned into equity shares. Therefore, we can say that LICs are what? different from investment companies, as the farmer has to protect against risk, and that the investment of funds is incidental to the business of insurance. Okay, so the next point is, or the next initiatives and the responsibilities will be introduced by the Indian government, that will discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you.